father was involved with melons for a long time. He worked in melon harvesting back in the 30s and 40s, and in the 50s he was offered a job right near here growing cantaloupes. And I was a boy at that time. In the 50s we settled here, and my dad started working on a farm permanently as a foreman growing cantaloupes. So I grew up on the farm, and by the time I was 10 years old, I was working in the summers with my father. When I started my farm in 1985, I already had a lot of knowledge in growing cantaloupes, and so that became my key to get into farming. Our farm has about 2,000 acres. Most of that is in melons. A big part of that is also in almonds. Our melon season here starts in late June, goes all the way till October. It's a long season. It's about 3.5 months. Our markets are all over the U.S. We ship from coast to coast, and some into Canada. Some of the best stores in the nation buy our melons, like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Safeway, Costco. We're very proud of that. There's a good demand for fruit. People are trying to eat more healthy. They're eating more fruits and vegetables. It's good for them, it's good for us. And California has the best weather for that. We have this climate that's hot and dry. It works real well for melons and many of the crops that we grow here in the valley. We just need to have water. But this is an important place for the United States because we do produce a lot of fruits and vegetables and nuts here for the nation that you can't find and you can't plant just anywhere else. The water that we have for these melons is by irrigation. Okay, we don't depend on rain to irrigate these melons. Melons, like most of the crops here in the Central Valley, don't like rain in the summer. They would get sick, and so we have to irrigate them. That means that we bring water from another part of the state, in this case from Northern California. It comes down the rivers into the delta. It's picked up by canals and brought to us, and we irrigate these melons with that water. And without that water, we couldn't farm here. Today, our whole farm is on drip irrigation. It's the most efficient method that you can use in conserving water. So what have we done? You know, we have used, thankfully, there's technology that helps us. Even though we're still harvesting by hand, pretty much the way my father did, but the way we grow these melons has changed. We have developed, of course, new varieties that will produce more. We're always looking at different varieties, but always looking for the variety that tastes like the one that my father grew. So I grew up with this type of agriculture and around crews. Back in those days, in the 50s and 60s, of course, they were braceros. Today, we no longer have a bracero program, but the same kind of people are doing this work. They're immigrants from Mexico, and more recently, in the last 35 years, from Central America. So it's very important to us. When you see that it came off the stem, it's ripe. Now, it's not as pretty as we like it. We like to see it more yellow, but it is ripe. And we can I carry my sampling knife here, and we can cut into it. This is a delicious melon. Wow, that's really good. And you know, this is thanks to the great weather that we have. Good soils and good weather. Maybe you might want another piece.